You ever notice that the very first thing you're supposed to do every morning is something you don't want to do? That's how you know mornings are already designed as a scam. The alarm goes off and it's not an alarm, it's an assault. It's not even a friendly reminder that the sun came up. No, it's this artificial little box next to your bed screaming to you like you're under attack. They call it a wake-up call. Yeah, more like a heart attack starter kit. Nothing natural about it. The sun comes up in silence, the birds start singing, nature says, "Hey, time to rise." But no, we invented a clock that sounds like a nuclear meltdown. That's how we start the day, pretending to be organized, while secretly hoping to survive another morning without killing ourselves, just trying to get upright. And who designed the snooze button, huh? That's comedy right there. Somebody in an office thought, hey, these people already hate getting up. Let's give them a button that lets them rehearse failure every 9 minutes. That's all snoozing is, practice for disappointment. You set the alarm at 6, it rings, you say, "Not now," and boom, you've already failed at your first appointment of the day. Getting up. It's amazing you go to bed full of ambition. Tomorrow's the day. I'll rise early, hit the gym, eat a healthy breakfast, be productive. Then 6 a.m. hits, and you're making secret deals with yourself like a shady lawyer. All right, maybe not 6, maybe 6:10, 6:20 at the latest, 6:30, and I really mean it this time. By the time you finally roll out, you've already lied to yourself 6 times, and you haven't even brushed your teeth yet. That's not a routine. That's self-negotiation with a pillow. And don't you love how you can fall asleep in 2 seconds when you're not supposed to? You're sitting in a chair, you're watching TV, your eyes droop, boom, you're out cold. But when you're actually in bed, all tucked in, nice and quiet, suddenly your brain turns into a nightclub. You're lying there 3 in the morning and your head decides it's the perfect time to replay every embarrassing thing you've ever said since you were 5. I remember that time in 4th grade you called the teacher mom? Yeah, let's think about that for 2 hours. Then you finally drift off around 4:30, and 30 minutes later the alarm is screaming at you like you owe it money. So mornings aren't about rest, they're about reminding you that you lost the night before. And people always talk about it being a morning person. What the hell does that mean? Who decided some people are a morning people and the rest of us are bad citizens? Morning people act like they discovered a new religion. They wake up chipper, they're doing stretches, they've got birds on their shoulders like they're in a Disney movie. And they look at you half dead crawling toward the coffee machine and they say, "Come on, rise and shine. Rise and shine. How about rise and shut the hell up?" Nobody shines at 7 a.m., not unless they're radioactive. Morning people think they're superior. Oh, I get up at 5 a.m. every day. I meditate, I journal, I jog 5 miles before breakfast. Yeah, congratulations, you're annoying. You're not better than anyone, you're just awake while the rest of us are still sane. And then there's the body in the morning. The body doesn't want to play along. You can tell because the first thing you do when you wake up is make noises you didn't know you could make. You roll out of bed and suddenly you're an 80-year-old man. Knees cracking, back popping, throat making sounds like you swallowed gravel. The human body wasn't designed to move right after sleep. You ever notice you can't even walk straight to the bathroom? You stagger down the hall like you've been partying all night. And all you did was dream about showing up to work naked. That's the comedy of it. Sleep is supposed to restore you. But every morning you wake up broken stiff and wondering if this is the day you finally buy a cane. And the dreams, oh, the dreams. Why do they always end right when they're getting good? You're having this beautiful dream. You're flying, you're rich, you're dating someone way out of your league. Life is perfect. And then the alarm explodes and you're back to reality. Now you're not flying. You're stuck in traffic. You're not rich, you're late for work. You're not dating a supermodel, you're just brushing your teeth while half asleep, wondering why your toothbrush feels like sandpaper. It's like life plays a prank on you every night. Here's the life you could have had. Just kidding, wake up and put on pants. You ever notice that morning routines are just a series of desperate shortcuts? People say, I wake up, I take a shower, I eat breakfast. No, you don't. You wake up late, you skip the shower, you grab a piece of bread and call it a balanced meal. Nobody's routine actually looks like the magazines say. The magazines show you some smiling guy drinking fresh orange juice in a sunlit kitchen. In reality, you're chewing a stale bagel while hopping on one foot, trying to find a sock that matches. And don't even get me started on cereal. Well, they show you commercials with families laughing around a bowl of cornflakes. No family has ever laughed at 6:30 in the morning. The only sound in the morning is, "Where are my keys?" Then the alarm clock isn't the only thing that betrays you. The body has its own alarm system, your bladder. That's the real wake-up call. No matter how deep you're sleeping, once that bladder decides it's time, that's it. You're up. And it always happens right before the alarm anyway. You're lying there, cozy, warm, perfect position, and suddenly your body says, "Hey, you know that liter of water you drank before bed? Yeah, it's checkout time." Now you're half asleep, stumbling to the bathroom, bumping into furniture, trying not to stub your toe, which, by the way, is the universal way to ruin a day before it even starts. And mornings are full of these little lies we tell ourselves. The biggest one is of 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes isn't 5 minutes. It's the gateway drug to 45 minutes of denial. You don't wake up refreshed after 5 more minutes. You wake up confused. You ever notice that? You snooze too long and suddenly you don't know what year it is. You look at the clock, it's 8:30, and you're like, "Oh, wait a minute, wasn't it 6 a minute ago?" That's not sleep, that's a blackout. Then you've got people who actually set multiple alarms. You ever meet these maniacs? They set one for 6, one for 6:15, one for 6:30, one for 6:45. They create a whole concert of alarms. That's not a morning routine, that's harassment. That's psychological warfare on yourself. You're better off hiring a marching band to stand in your bedroom. At least then you'd have live music. And let's not forget the sound of alarms. Some people choose the radio alarm, thinking that's a gentle way to wake up. What's gentle about being blasted awake by some overexcited DJ yelling about a mattress sale? Or worse, waking up to the news. You open your eyes and the first thing you hear is disaster. A good morning, here's everything that went wrong in the world overnight. Thanks, that's exactly what I needed before I've had coffee. Worldwide despair. And then there's the people who use songs as alarm. They think it's clever until they start hating the song. That's how you ruin your favorite music. You loved that tune yesterday. Today it makes you nauseous because it's the soundtrack to your misery. And mornings expose how fake we are about health. People say, "I start my day with a healthy breakfast." Yeah, when's the last time you actually peeled an orange at 7 a.m.? Breakfast is coffee. Let's be honest. Coffee is the only reason civilization still functions. Coffee is the morning survival kit. You don't drink it because you like it. You drink it because without it, you'd be asleep on the bus. Coffee is the duct tape of mornings. You ever notice how nobody even waits for it to cool down? You wake up, stumble into the kitchen, pour scalding hot liquid into your face, and just accept the burns. That's how desperate we are. People burn their tongues every day just to feel alive. And what's with morning breath? You can go to bed squeaky clean, brush, floss, rinse, tongue scrape, gargle, wake up 8 hours later, and your mouth smells like a science experiment gone wrong. How does that happen? Nobody's eating while they're asleep. What's the mouth doing in there? Throwing a party? And of course, the first person you talk to in the morning gets the full blast. Nothing like saying a good morning and watching someone's eyebrows curl from the fumes. And no matter how much sleep you get, it's never enough. You can sleep 10 hours and still wake up feeling like you lost a fight. That's the mystery of mornings. You're supposed to be refreshed, but you feel like you spent the night wrestling a bear. And of course, if you only get 2 hours of sleep, you somehow feel the same. So the body doesn't care. It's always going to make you miserable in the morning. And isn't it funny how kids are the only ones excited to wake up? They bounce out of bed at 6 a.m. on Saturday, wide-eyed, ready to watch cartoons. Adults wake up at 6 a.m. and immediately start calculating how much longer until bedtime. Kids see the morning as an adventure. Adults see it as a punishment. That's the difference. One side has hope. The other side is bills. And the ultimate joke about mornings? You spend all that time dragging yourself awake, showering, brushing, dressing, racing around, and within an hour you're already fantasizing about going back to bed? That's the whole scam. The morning routine isn't about starting the day, it's about getting ready for the moment you can crawl back under the covers. That's the real comedy. We wake up just to plan when we can go to sleep again. Because let's face it, mornings aren't natural. If life wanted us up early, the sun wouldn't have invented sunsets. You ever notice that the minute you finally get yourself out of bed, the real circus begins? Waking up is bad enough, but the daily preparations, that's where the comedy really kicks in. People like to call it a routine. Yeah, routine is just another word for doing the same stupid things every day while pretending you've got it figured out. Nothing routine about it. It's chaos in slow motion. You think you're starting the day strong, but the truth is, the moment you try to brush your teeth half asleep, you've already become the star of your own slapstick show. Let's start with brushing teeth. Brushing teeth looks simple, but at 6:30 in the morning, it's advanced calculus. You got the toothbrush in one hand, toothpaste in the other, and somehow you always miss. There's always that blob that falls straight into the sink like it's committing suicide. Half the time you miss your mouth and end up with toothpaste on your shirt. Now you're brushing mint foam into your clothes, wondering why you even bother showering. Then don't you love how you're supposed to stand there for 2 minutes brushing? 2 minutes feels like 2 hours. Nobody brushes for 2 minutes, nobody has time for that. The only time you brush for 2 minutes is if you're standing there zoning out, staring into the mirror, wondering why your hair looks like you've been in a wind tunnel. And then you've got people who gargle. They tilt their head back, swishing around like they're auditioning for a whale documentary. And it always ends the same way. Coughing, choking, spitting up all over the counter. Morning hygiene isn't graceful, it's survival. Then it's the shower. Showers sound relaxing, but not in the morning. It's an obstacle course. First, you've got to fight with the water temperature. You turn the knob just a little and suddenly you're in a glacier. Turn it back the other way and now you're in a volcano. There's no middle ground, just ice or fire. Pick your punishment. And then there's the water pressure. Some showers blast like a fire hydrant, others dribble out like they're apologizing. Ever try to rinse shampoo with water pressure that feels like someone's spitting on you? That's when you start questioning your life choices. And soap is always waiting to betray you. You drop the bar and suddenly you're in a cartoon slipping around, almost breaking your neck. They don't tell you about the risks involved in cleanliness. And shampoo bottles, they never open when you need them. You're in there with wet hands trying to unscrew a cap designed by sadists. You finally get it open, squeeze it out, and of course it comes flying like ketchup, shooting 3 times more than you need. Now you're wasting shampoo, trying to balance it in your palm like you're carrying nitroglycerin. And towels. Oh, towels are the biggest scam in the morning. You hang them up thinking they'll dry. They never do. The next morning you step out of the shower, grab the towel, and it's damp. You're basically drying yourself with yesterday's moisture. And no matter how big the towel is, it's never enough. Halfway through drying, you're suddenly doing a gymnastics routine, trying to cover all the places you missed. If you live with someone else, forget it. That towel is long gone because they stole it first. That's when you're standing there dripping, wrapping yourself in a hand towel, hoping the neighbors aren't looking through the blinds. Then comes the mirror moment. Oh, the mirror in the morning. That's comedy you can't write. You wipe the steam off, look up, and there's a creature staring back at you that looks like it hasn't slept since 1973. Hair sticking out like you've been electrocuted. One eye half shut. Pillow creases on your face like you fell asleep on a waffle iron. And somehow this is the moment you're supposed to transform into a respectable member of society. It's not transformation. It's a cover-up job. It's like patching potholes with chewing gum. And hair. Hair is its own tragedy in the morning. Some people wake up and their hair looks the same. Not me, not most people. Most of us wake up looking like our hair was in a fist fight. You wet it, comb it, style it, and the second you step outside, the wind laughs at you. If you're bald, congratulations, you saved yourself 10 minutes. But even then, you've got to shine it up or you look like you've been rolling in flour. Everyone's got hair issues, bald or not. And then the clothes. Oh, what a joke clothing is in the morning. You spend half your life trying to find socks that match. There's a drawer full of socks, but somehow not a single pair. It's like they sneak out at night and run away. And when you finally find two that look alike, you put them on and realize they're different thicknesses. One foot feels cozy, the other feels like it's wrapped in sandpaper. Now you're limping around like you've got an invisible injury. You could iron them the night before, but by morning they look like you stuffed them in a backpack and sat on it. So now you're ironing in a panic, burning your fingers, praying you don't press a crease in the wrong direction. And ties? Ties are comedy all by themselves. Whoever invented them must have been laughing. Hey, let's make men strangle themselves with a piece of cloth every morning. You tie it once, it's too short. You tie it again, it's too long. You tie it a third time, and it looks like you're going to a circus audition. And women's routines. My God, that's a whole different marathon. Makeup is an art form, but in the morning it's more like construction work. There's foundation, powder, eyeliner, mascara. Half the time you poke yourself in the eye. Lipstick ends up on your teeth. Blush makes you look like you've got a fever. And hair curlers? You ever see someone try to get ready with curlers falling out like landmines? It's not glamour, it's survival under fire. And let's not pretend men don't have their own rituals. Shaving is a blood sport. One slip of the razor and you're standing there with little pieces of toilet paper stuck to your face, looking like you got attacked by polka dots. And breakfast, let's talk about breakfast. They call it the most important meal of the day, but for most people it's the most disappointing. Cereal is supposed to be simple. You pour it in, add milk, done. But you never have enough milk. You've got just enough for half a bowl. Now you're rationing Cheerios like it's wartime, and toast never cooperates. It's either warm bread or a piece of charcoal. There's no middle. And butter comes straight out of the fridge like a frozen brick. You're sawing at it with a knife, bending the bread like origami. By the time you're done, you've got holes in the toast and butter crumbs all over the counter. Coffee is the whole point of the morning. Without coffee, the world would collapse. But coffee in the morning is its own mess. You measure the grounds wrong. It comes out like tar or like dirty water. You spill it on yourself. Now your shirt smells like a cafe explosion. And travel mugs. They always leak. No matter how tight you screw that lid, by the time you get in the car, coffee's dripping down your hand. Morning coffee is less about waking you up and more about testing how much misery you'll tolerate before 9 a.m. And don't you love how everyone's rushing around at the same time? The bathroom is the battleground. One person's brushing, another's shaving, somebody's yelling, "Are you done yet?" Meanwhile, you're just trying to pee in peace while someone's blow-drying their hair at hurricane level. No wonder people fight in the morning. It's not stress, it's logistics. The house wasn't designed for everyone to get ready at once. You need 3 bathrooms, a cafeteria, and a traffic cop to make it work smoothly. And keys. Every morning the keys disappear. You put them in the same place every night, but in the morning they vanished. You're tearing apart the couch cushions, checking your pockets, retracing your steps like a detective in your own home. And of course, you only find them when you've given up hope. Oh? You look down and they're sitting on the counter, staring at you, mocking you. Shoes too. You can find the left one, but the right one's gone on vacation. You're crawling around on the floor, late for work, yelling at an inanimate object. Nothing says you're ready for the day like arguing with your shoes. And the clock, the clock is your enemy. You think you've got time, then suddenly you're 10 minutes late. The clock speeds up in the morning. Time bends. You spend 3 minutes brushing your teeth, 2 minutes tying your shoes, and somehow an hour disappeared. That's not time management, that's time theft. The morning steals from you. And when you finally get yourself ready, hair barely cooperating, shirt half tucked, coffee in hand, keys in your pocket, you step outside thinking you won the battle. And then you realize you forgot your lunch. Or your wallet. Or that document you needed. Now you're running back inside, shoes tracking mud, yelling at yourself like a lunatic. That's the morning routine. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, and somehow you're still late. The truth is, daily preparations are a comedy show that nobody paid to see. Every morning we're the actors, the audience, and the punchline all rolled into one. The more we try to look polished, the more ridiculous the process gets. That's why mornings are funny. Not because they're joyful, but because they remind us that no matter how much we plan, every day starts with toothpaste on your shirt and coffee on your hands. Because the real punchline is, we spend all this time preparing ourselves for the day, but the day was never prepared for us. You ever notice how waking up in the morning is less like a fresh start to a new day and more like the first act of a badly written comedy sketch you didn't audition for? Nobody wakes up gracefully. People think they do. They like to say, "Oh, I'm a morning person." Really? You mean to tell me there are people who actually open their eyes, stretch, and smile like some commercial for orange juice? Come on. The truth is, everybody wakes up the same way. Confused, irritated, and already a little disappointed. You open your eyes and the first thought isn't, a new day full of opportunities. No, the first thought is, what the hell is this? Where am I? Oh no, it's happening again. The alarm clock is the first enemy. Whoever invented the alarm clock was clearly a sadist. The thing never sounds like something designed to wake you up. It sounds like something designed to scare you awake. It's not a gentle whisper in your ear. "Hey buddy, time to rise and shine." No, it's a screech, a buzz, a beep, like you're under attack. And what kind of genius thought it was a good idea to use that noise every single day? If you wake up every morning to a fire drill, you're not waking up, you're being assaulted. People wonder why they're cranky in the mornings. Maybe because the day starts with a panic attack. And then there's the snooze button. That little button is the biggest scam in human history. You hit it once and think, I just bought myself 9 more minutes of sleep. But no, you didn't. What you bought yourself was 9 minutes of half sleep, half guilt, where you're lying there thinking, I should get up. I shouldn't have pressed that. I'll get up next time. And you keep hitting it like you're negotiating with the universe. Just 9 more minutes, please. I'll be good today, I promise. People don't use the snooze button for rest. They use it to rehearse failure in short bursts. And notice how the snooze button is never set for a logical amount of time. 9 minutes? Why 9? Who decided that was the magic number? Why not 10 or 5? 9 is not a real interval. 9 minutes is just enough time to fall into a dream where you're relaxed and happy. And then boom, the alarm drags you back into reality just as you were about to kiss the person of your dreams or win the lottery. Thanks a lot, snooze button. You don't extend your sleep, you just extend your disappointment. Once you actually drag yourself out of bed, the real comedy begins. Have you ever watched yourself in the morning? It's like a zombie audition. Stumbling around the room, bumping into furniture, muttering things that don't make sense. People don't walk in the morning. They shuffle. Nobody looks dignified walking to the bathroom at 6 o'clock in the morning. You look like a confused prisoner wandering into the yard for the first time. And you're never prepared for the mirror. You look up, and it's like, oh no, who's that? Oh, it's me. I look like I've been attacked by a pillow and lost. And isn't it funny how beds are designed to be way more comfortable in the morning than at night? At night, you're tossing and turning, can't find the right position. In the morning, suddenly the bed has achieved perfection. Every wrinkle in the sheets is hugging you just right. Every corner of the blanket is tucked around you like a loving grandmother. The pillow feels like a cloud made just for your head. And you think, why couldn't you have been this good at midnight when I needed you? The bed plays tricks on you. It's like it waits until the alarm goes off to reveal its true powers. And then there's this cruel part of waking up where your brain decides to remind you of every possible reason to stay in bed. You're tired. You didn't sleep enough. It's cold outside. The world is dangerous. Beds are safe. Stay here. Your brain becomes a lawyer arguing your case for not moving. And the counter-argument is what? I need money. I need to look like I'm responsible. Society told me I can't just lie. And every morning it feels like the jury is out and you're just waiting for the verdict. But you already know the decision. Guilty of being alive. Now get up and face it. Have you ever noticed how different people sound in the morning? Some people wake up and immediately start talking, like it's the middle of the afternoon. They're chipper, loud, and happy like, "Good morning, sunshine. Isn't it a beautiful day?" And all you can think is, why do I live with this person? How do I make them stop? Meanwhile, other people take about 3 hours to form their first complete sentence. You ask them a question in the morning, all you get is a grunt, like they're trying to remember how language works. And then there's the coffee drinkers who can't even acknowledge your existence until they've had their cup. You can be on fire in the living room, and they'll just wave you off. Not yet, not until the coffee. And the comedy of waking up isn't just about alarms and coffee. It's about the lies we tell ourselves every morning. The moment we wake up, the brain starts making deals it knows it won't keep. Today I'll be productive. Today I'll eat healthy. Today I'll go for a jog. Today I'll meditate. And by noon you're eating donuts in your car, yelling at traffic, wondering where all that morning optimism went. Every day starts like a motivational seminar and ends like a blooper reel. And the body plays tricks on you too. Do you ever notice how your body refuses to cooperate in the morning? Your arms don't bend right, your legs don't move at the same speed, your mouth can't open wide enough for the toothbrush. You spill toothpaste, knock over the cup, drop your phone in the sink. The first 10 minutes of your day are like a slapstick routine written by a drunk clown. And if you live with someone, it's even worse, because now there's a witness. Somebody's watching you stumble around with your underwear on backwards, and you're like, "This isn't me. This is temporary. Give me an hour." And then there's a shower. The morning shower is supposed to wake you up, but it just proves that you have no idea what you want. You start with hot water because you want comfort. Then it's too hot, so you add cold. Then it's too cold, so you add hot. You spend 10 minutes adjusting the knob back and forth like you're negotiating a peace treaty. And then halfway through, you forget if you already shampooed, so you do it again. You end up coming out of the shower more confused than when you went in. People like to think they have a routine. But let's be honest, morning routines aren't routines. They're desperate improvisations. Every day you tell yourself you'll be efficient, and every day something goes wrong. You can't find your socks, your shirt is wrinkled, your toast burns, your keys disappear. It's like the house itself is playing a prank on you. And the more you rush, the more mistakes you make. That's why people spill coffee on their shirt 5 minutes before leaving. That's why people walk out the door with mismatched shoes. The morning isn't routine, it's slapstick comedy starring you, and you don't even get paid for it. And the truth is, waking up every day is absurd. Think about it. You go to bed at night, you're unconscious for hours, and then suddenly, you're expected to re-enter the world like nothing happened. It's like a reboot. Imagine if your computer shut down every night and every morning you had to manually restart it, wait for the updates, and watch it freeze halfway through loading. That's the human morning. You're basically a broken computer pretending to be ready for work. And people keep trying to make mornings better with gadgets and tricks. Sunrise lamps, soothing alarms, meditation apps, herbal teas. None of it works. You can dress it up however you want, but waking up is still the same old clumsy, reluctant, groggy ritual it's always been. It's not a fresh start. It's the daily reminder that life doesn't care if you're ready. So when people talk about their perfect morning routine, I laugh. There's no perfect morning routine. There's only chaos, negotiation, and surrender. You stumble out of bed, you make a deal with the day, and you hope you don't embarrass yourself too much before noon. That's the real morning ritual. And the punchline to all of it? The same ritual starts again tomorrow.